How's everybody doing? Welcome back. Day 329, 365 days towards racial change. My name is Thomas Nyback. Let's get to it. We're here talking about black issues in America. We wonder, we check in and take the pulse of America racially, how it impacts it. That racism is a component and it touches everybody's life, white, black, brown, yellow, and all our skin colors in America. America um, is a nation unique in that way, where we look at each other, we look at the skin color of one another and make judgments, determinations. Um, we decide who gets abused, incarcerated, succeeds, rises up to high status, and it's inextricably connected to one's skin color in the land. Happens to be detrimental in general for those with black skin, and happens to be a way of upward mobility and success for those white folks, lighter skin colors. And it's clear we can look at statistics and all this stuff. Um, I'm not big on the book knowledge portion of it because much comes from my own experience, and I'm informed. I'll give you some resources to tell you where to look, but you can fact check me and see if what I'm saying is true. But it's I need not validate my experience. I happen to be into the Bible. Maybe you would call me a theist with a lot of my life has God in it. And anyway, there's a portion of the Bible, Protestant Bible, where the apostles are commanded to stop talking about Jesus, right? Because there's been resurrection. It's been a big thing, right, in that day. And the response from the apostles is like, do whatever you want. This is our truth. This is our eyewitness. We didn't make up a system of belief from the scriptures or from what we read or heard. This is our own experience, and there is no higher authority than that. Do what you must, but here I am, right? So I know, being a black man in America, I know what I've experienced, so I need not cite it or reach into some archives for my experience to be believable. I am my own witness here. I'm confirming theories and data collected by others. And that should be your experience too. Are you a white woman? You're a white man, black woman? Huh? Or did you grow up penthouse downtown, in the hood, in the woods? What? That's your experience. That is what you live. That's what you present to the world. As long as you got some integrity, guts about you, you probably get along well, even if the truth hurts or is challenging. So that's a little bit of what we do here at Racial Change. I'm just one voice among however many black people live in America. I speak especially to those descended from slaves. Not just someone fresh out of Africa. Black person coming today to America, that person's going to have a whole different experience. They don't get off the boat or the plane and get corralled into some place um, and sold to some place and being forced to work for free labor. Not people that come from Africa today, um, but my people that came from Africa X hundreds of years ago. They got off the boat. They were corralled, separated from their families, forced to work, beaten, coerced, raped. Yeah, the Africans today don't have that. I hope. Clue me in. Send me a note. If you came from Africa and that is your experience, 'cause we need to talk and then we need to get a some legal people involved, right? But now my ancestors did not have that voice when they got off the boat. Black in America. I always like to talk. I want tease out. I shouldn't say always. I trailed off from it, but I'm wondering now. It's. I wonder about the white mind, the white experience as this coronavirus is upon us. This is this is an event, a circumstance that touches everybody. That's a concern um, for everyone's welfare, well-being, and whatnot. And everybody is taking it seriously. So what's the white experience now? Because now some of the foundations, the roots on which white success rested, boy, the bottom just fell out. Labor disappeared. Nobody's getting together. Um, a lot of things have changed, and if you were a white business owner with a small business that was already on the edge, you've just been consumed. You've fallen into the same well. I'm not. Once this thing gets back online, I mean, I look at the big super chains, Costco, Amazon. The carriers are staying in business. I think UPS, FedEx, you know, um, Walmart. Some of these places that stayed just kept grinding it out while Home Depot, while you know, if you are a giant, you could weather the storm. And this is all white-owned business I'm talking about, right? You weathered the storm, but all the other little white businesses that circulated suddenly they found themselves jammed up. Black businesses, smaller ones, of course. Um, you know, will have to have been strong businesses with great foundations to come out on the other side of this storm alive. At this point, this has been some sustained economic um, catastrophic pressure going on. So coming out on the other side, you just want to come out on the other side alive at this point. You know, so what white folks, there's got to be a cringe going on. And I hope they understand. A portion of the white community understands that a whole bunch of them have come to that point of now black and white folks can see a little more competitively across the field at one another, right? So this upward, where the whites are up here and the blacks are struggling, well, that just leveled, right, on nearly overnight, and I'm hoping. I don't wish it. ill fortune on anybody. But I'm glad that there's a portion of the white community that's getting a wake up call to say, hey man, you've been running, just stepping all over in your privilege and whatnot. You know, Let's- and black folks have just as much ability uh, to compete. We've got the opportunity right now. On that note, little transition. What are black folks going to be like, do like? How do black people proceed out of this experience? Because now everybody's got a chance and a choice. It's much more level, right? Now there's some favors and still with the white privilege, access to resources, and things like that. But it's been seriously constricted now. It's lost a lot of its momentum and power. Right? I understand that, black folks, and collectively we come out with a more equitable experience in America now. A lot of sorry and devastating things have happened with this virus. People have died, and there's sickness, and there's some strange peripheral illnesses, young kids dying mysteriously. So there's going to be some fallout health-wise from this for a while. Racial change does not advocate, death and disease on an individual. But this virus, it's also a blessing. It's a way of strength. It's a way um, that the whole planet is on this kind of reset. This is the kind of event that black people needed to get a foothold for the machine to just stop and give us a chance to collect ourselves and have a real equitable run at what's going on in America. I'm inspired to do this work by a man named Dr. Claude Anderson. His work inspires many of our videos. You look at past 300 videos. I always hold up his work, and today will be no different. But it's important that like, wow, I could do a year's worth of my experience, right? But we get into facts once in a while here, and trust like what I say is either my experience. I don't fly off too far into fantasy land. I don't think. I hope, but also there's a lot of factual information researched that I like to bring forth here as well. I've read three of Dr. Anderson's works. He's writes a lot of stuff. This was a book. This was a real game changer. I bought first. I started watching a bunch of his videos here on YouTube, and then um, I was sold. I was all in to what he had to say, and I went to his website and I read this book first. If you're new to racism or what America's about racially, this is the book to light the fire under you. I guarantee you. If you get one book, get this one. He's got plenty of others, but get this one. A Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask. Black Labor, White Wealth, Search for Power and Economic Justice, and Dr. Anderson's national plan to empower Black America, Powernomics. You can find Dr. Anderson at powernomics.com, here on YouTube. He's got a website, easy guy to find. Behind me, you'll see the hashtag #US2 symbol. You'll find Black women supporting each other, having their conversation there. Check out Black Enough, kind of a Black Facebook experience. If you've got um, an entrepreneurial spirit, business mind, and you're not sure, whatever, check out Dr. Boyce Watkins at the Black Business School, theblackbusinessschool.com, and he'll give you some pointers and help you out. He's got some resources. He'll let you take a test run of stuff, and he's a good guy. Although I've never met him, but he presents as a good guy. So we're going to run with it. Oh, and there's on the business note, check out a guy named Tyrone Gregory. He's the tax guy. I got to get his. I keep forgetting to get memorize his stuff. But Tyrone Gregory, tax guy, easy to find. He loves to tweet, and he's on the internet as well. Take a fictional account of slave life in America. Harriet Beecher Stowe's phenomenal work, Uncle Tom's Cabin. Please read that if you haven't. Very important. The book very much applicable to today's economic situations. The Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffin. And some of the things you see that some of the things you read in there make your head stand on end when you see what desperation for money in economics looks like, what it can do, how it can appear, who is expendable in that type of system. Read that book. I'm not gonna. I want to be more well versed in what that man is talking about before presenting here, but I recommend that book highly, and it's very applicable today. Watch out, beware of these stimulus packages, beware of tension with China. Some of these elements are themes in that book, so beware. All right, we're on our remaining time, got 10 or so minutes left. Talking about reimagining restoration. Well, what's restoration going to look like for Black people if it occurs? Now, what I say is we need to be careful. This may come out kind of sideways, but try to follow me here. This reimagining restoration is like, I think our response, one mistake that Black people have consistently made when it comes to reparations, restoration, equal rights, all this stuff, is it's the rules set forth and orchestrated the architecture of those um, experiences, opportunities are under white control and power, right? When you say equal rights, well, we're reflecting, on the privilege and the rights of the majority white folks. We want reparations, reparations, and they're appropriate, but it's all a reflection of because we've witnessed the white majority exercise and have such and such, right? Restoration. Now, restoration, that's an interesting word because Black people we were never we were never disenfranchised, right? That's something that Black people need to kind of get a hold of. There's rumors and myths that Black people were initially free folks in America. I got no problem with that. But, these things did not last long. As early, Maryland was one of the early states to begin these infringements and encroachments upon Black liberty, and the rest of the colonies followed suit. Black freedom was short-lived. You know, we the process, like I said, it was an encroachment, but they um, first it was a disenfranchisement, but it wasn't like we had this longevity of participating in American economics anyway. So restoration and stuff like that, disenfranchisement, it's almost a uh, it's almost a misapplication of terms because Black people never really had a strong foothold to be disenfranchised from anyway, in my opinion, right? Um, so, we need, I'm saying that Black folks need to participate to begin with. Have Black people ever participated in the American dream, the American way, economically? Have we ever participated in the same way as our white counterparts? Yeah, of course not. No, no, we haven't. And as long as the language is um, the language of the white group, the power group, then it's always going to be that group to dictate um, how the disadvantaged people navigate that experience. It brings me to mind the movie Ben-Hur. Charlton Heston is Ben-Hur and stuff, and he's having this conversation with his his counterpart, guy who used to be his best friend, Marsalis, and Marsalis is like, oh, this wine is so dreadful, and all this stuff, and Charlton Heston's character says, yeah, we make it specifically for um, the Roman Empire or something, and Marsalis is holding the wine. He offers it to Ben-Hur, and he says, you're very cruel to your conquerors, right? But he's the one um, giving the chalice to the conquered Ben-Hur, the Jewish people. So, and that's the same dynamic that's at work here in America. The power group, those who are in control, are always offering, right? It sustains us, maybe intoxicates us, uh, quenches thirst. Yeah, it's appropriate, but it's from the hand of the conqueror. It's from the hand of power, and our language is still wrapped up in, and it's not tangled, but it flows in a processional. That's the way it moves towards. Right? Comes from this people to another disadvantaged folks in America. All right. It's hard. It's hard. So you'll read in the description about about some of this as well. I tried to untangle what I'm trying to say there as well. One caveat with this, and I think this goes along with it, is that, when we use words from our the power group, you know, we want to be sure that, or want to make it so that terms like self-determination, all these words of power are not still in some way giving our energy to the power group. I want to self-determine, and all these words that are simply negations and reflections against a group that I feel oppresses me, right? That discoursing in that way exacerbates the challenge, I believe. You know, that's probably the big thing that happened in the 60s with our marches. Oh, we want equal rights. Well, we we wanted. See, here's the example. We wanted equal rights, equal participation, equal access in their terms. It's the same thing we did. I talked about this a few episodes ago with the school system, right? And instead of the black folks demanding that their system, that the government um, subsidizes properly and distributes educational resources equitably, as it does the white schools, instead of black people demanding that, we folded and went bust to other communities. I know Senator Harris she's so appreciative that she got bused. I got bused to a community and all that, um, because my community was not properly equipped. So I went to a white community myself. I know what that's about. I know what that's like. But it doesn't say, it doesn't properly speak to how um, inequitable my community was, that my community did not have the resources, proper resources, equipment to compete with a white school. So now I'm hours and hours, 4 years going to that school. Great education, all that. I've seen illiterate black men. I've seen that the result of poor education in inner cities and depressed communities. I know the alternative, but when we had our opportunity to make some equitable change in the black community, we caved in and we gave all the power again to the white folks. Notice white folks don't come to the hood or inner city for education. They know they get drugs. You know what I mean? So that's the problem. That our language, the environments we trust, all these things point to um, these deficiencies. But I want to end with this, this next minute or two, is, how do we get around? We need to get on the outside. We need to create our own. We need to um, uh, take, especially this opportunity with this virus, to establish our own community, our own entity that'll compete um, with the power group. I think we have it now. Power group, got land, um, industrialization. We'll talk about that in another day or two. And they controlled a lot of stuff. But now with our gig economy, I think black folks have a real chance, a real opportunity create just a whole brand new sphere in which to move and breathe and think. This gig economy seems to be less fraught with racism. Still there, but not as strong as it used to be. And black folks have an opportunity. So I have to be careful in language that is just not mirroring or negating white control, but if I could find some new terminology to express um, a whole new way of looking and thinking uh, about things in the world. You know, consider black folks. You've been under siege from birth, hobbled in competition, through attrition, since they're still killing us off. Our numbers are still dwindling. But we got some hope. There's some opportunities to come back strong and compete. Thanks for hanging out again. That's day 329 out of the way. 365 days towards racial change. I'm Tomlin's Nyback. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.